This is the one with Cleopatra's cleavage.
Papa Blue Man Greedo Smurf the Hut.
So. Oh dear. An invasion of sexy Italians.
The Return of Rory.
And Silence Falls.
It's called The Pandorica Opens.
Here we go. I'm keeping all of that in. We're still on our endless voyage.
All through time and all through space.
With Slovene and angels now.
Dalek, Cybers, Uden, wow!
Tennant, Smith and Eccleston.
And Capaldi, he's the man.
Doctor Who is cool again.
That was Russell's master plan. Who back when?
Reviewing all new Who there is.
Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please. Rose and Donna, Amy Pond, Rory, Martha and beyond. Join us on this odyssey. What other choice could there be but Who back when?
Who back when?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, and welcome to episode N072 of Who Back When, a Doctor Who podcast. That was desperation.
We're keeping this going into the 300 then.
I am Ponkin, and with me in the studio today, behind mics, that is, are...
Marie!
Hello, Marie! And...
Drew back when?
And off mic, a live studio audience comprised of Jim! Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Today we are sitting down to have a little chit-chat about the Pandorica Opens, which is the first part of a two-parter which make up the season finale, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I liked best about this entire episode? And there are a lot of highlights.
Oh, really?
There was not a second of preview.
Oh!
For me, that's plus 0.5 already. So for me, the maximum of this episode is 5.5. So the stakes are high, Podcast Land. They've really been higher.
All right.
Not since Love and Monsters. When Rory gave it a 12.
That's the best thing about this episode, though?
Well, would anyone care to suggest an alternative?
I have a question for you. Are we still in the territory? Because I know the answer in your case, Marie, because we actually talked about this before we pressed record, but are we still in the you had never ever seen this before territory?
No, I had seen this one. And do you know what else?
No.
This is the first Doctor Who episode to have been broadcast when Abby and I were married. It was broadcast the day after our wedding, so I don't actually know how I saw it because I was in Greece. So
Hold everything. I got it done on a Doctor Who episode.
yeah. I haven't been watching for the last 11 weeks, but now, I really feel the need.
Really important to get this one in.
Now we're not planning a wedding, I guess there's nothing to do. So yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I had seen it before.
No, nice. Nice. Okay, well, I guess welcome back.
And it did mean, of course, that I had to watch this episode fully cognizing the twist.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever had so much difficulty trying to imagine or remember what it was like to not know what the big reveal was going to be.
Oh, really?
As this episode.
Yeah, I had seen this, but I did not remember.
Really?
Yeah, and...
Marie, what do you remember?
I remembered it. Yeah, how can you not remember?
I mentioned this before you press record, ladies and gents. I had a theory whilst watching this, and it turned
that it was
out to be
Stephen
wrong.
Moffat inside the Pandorica.
That's exactly what I thought.
I'm the only genius whose brain surpasses the Doctor.
My theory was, because of the whole, there's the scene where he goes, well, the greatest warrior ever is inside this box. I rightly assumed that referred to the Doctor, but I also assumed that the future version of the Doctor would be inside the box, so that when it opens, he looks at his future self and would be like, oh, well, holy smokes, how do I get in there? That kind of thing. But no, I was wrong.
You could have had one Smith saying, tie me, and the other one saying, why me?
Exactly.
This is wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have a nice little whatever, yeah. That was my theory. Yeah. Shall we jump into Bite-Sized Chunk of Who for all of those people in Podcast Land who have no idea what we're talking about?
For whom it isn't already entirely spoiled.
Exactly.
Let's.
Okay, spoiler alerts ahead. Time for us to synopsize,
Slurpify and summarize.
so take a view
And grab a brew.
and listen to this overview, this free-for-all.
We like to call a Bite-Sized Chunk of Who.
Bite-Sized Chunk of Who. All the Doctor's previous companions of the week come together for one timey-wimey art heist of Vincent's maddest masterpiece.
A confluence of clues draw the Doctor and Amy to Stonehenge in 102 AD, where all of the Doctor's foes turn up just for the crack.
The TARDIS is destined to explode, and in a seemingly unrelated turn of events, no matter how rigidly Amy stands in his way, Rory's hand is also destined to explode.
Be Scout over, you are welcome. Ooh, vodka. Okay. Anyone want to start us off with a question?
Yes.
Okay.
In which outfit was Alex Kingston's cleavage the best?
Cleopatra. I mean, what are you talking about?
I mean, it was good. I mean, it was under high pressure in Cleopatra's outfit, but you know, you got the more acreage when she was 5145 space outlaw.
I don't really remember her cleavage in, what was it, 54, what was it, 5418?
5145.
45, sorry.
When she was doing the heist.
Wait, is that heist or is that prison? When is, what year, wait.
She
When is she in prison and what are her tits like?
She escaped from prison to go on a heist. She went to Liz 10's gaff
Yeah.
and stole her gear.
Oh, a sub-question. Is that Liz 10 pre-whale?
No, it has to be post-whale because she says you've met the Doctor.
Oh.
Therefore, it has to be on the spaceship.
It's aboard the whale.
I think so.
Oh, maybe.
Of course it's aboard the whale. The whale's not going anywhere. Or Future Britain is dead.
Or they've arrived wherever they're heading.
New Earth.
Yeah, maybe.
Bingo.
Oh, true. I thought that was 5 billion and something.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah.
She doesn't age, so it could be any time.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
I like how in 5145 the method of preserving artwork has still not progressed beyond a cloth. Even though it's 3,000 years old by this point.
It's not even behind glass or anything. It's just
No,
hanging there.
And it's also like it's not hanging on walls; it's just hanging up from the ceiling.
I
willy-nilly.
enjoyed that the best security guards they could have in the priceless artwork collection is the Queen.
Oh yeah.
Like, she's the only one there.
Why would they have security guards? There's someone got. Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, hang on. Why don't they have security guards? How does River get in there? How does River get out of there? How does River travel through time?
Yeah, because she had then.
Wait, how does she travel through
After
time?
that, she goes and gets the time thing
Exactly.
from the wrist of the man.
Wait, what the shit? Oh no! So she must escape from prison and meet the blue chap in the same time, like in the same time zone, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
This all makes perfect sense now.
Do they do it in that order?
Let's say yes.
Yeah, okay.
I guess
sure.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe they Tarantino it. Maybe it's like, oh, and here's how I got there. And this is when, blah, blah. Okay. Wait, hang on. I don't feel like your question about the cleavage was answered.
I regret asking it. That's why I'm desperately trying to steer away
moving
from
on.
it.
Okay.
Okay, my next question is, how did Doc get the idea to go back to the cliff?
So, because this is how River communicates with him. There's another episode where he's in a museum
Exactly, yeah.
and she's written Hello Sweetie on a timeless artifact and he didn't answer his phone. What else was she supposed to do?
Yeah, but I can overlook it once that he turns up without any sort of causation in the best thing in the universe, the biggest museum in the universe, and River's left something there. But to have not gone back to the oldest thing in the universe in 900 plus years.
It seems ridiculous that he hasn't done that. You're right.
Yeah.
He's
And
gone to the very start of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't he? I feel
Well,
like he has.
He's gone. He has, and he's gone back as far as Satan or something, or that was around for a while. That wasn't in the past actually, but he's looked at old shit.
But
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that it's never been translated as well, surely that's got to be so tempting for him. Like, nobody knows what it says.
I reckon you're right.
Hang on, it's in English.
Because we see it from the
Exactly.
TARDIS. The TARDIS translates it.
But there's, I am going to bring up the Satan pit again. There's stuff there that's so old that it cannot be translated. I mean, so it can't just be old because River is from this time, and though she's put it back in the old.
It's the
new
first
language.
planet. It's the first planet that was ever created when there was time.
I've got to stop asking questions.
And
No,
Satan came from, or the devil-ish creature from the Satan pit. He's from a time before time.
But Drew is on something, because what language did River write it in that it hasn't yet to be translated?
Oh, I reckon
'Cause if
she has a translation matrix very much like the TARDIS does, and just scribbles "Hello, sweetie" and whatever that is
In what?
in whatever the translation matrix helps her write it in.
Actually, I can believe that would mean absolutely nothing to anyone but the Doctor. Because if any archaeologists had uncovered "Hello, Sweetie," they'd think, well, obviously we can't understand this language. This is gibberish. Who the fuck is writing "Hello, Sweetie" on a cliff?
Super good point. Also, she doesn't have to write it in the same language that was originally on that wall. She could write it in, for example, ancient Gallifreyan, which she did in the museum scene.
Well, that's why I was assuming she'd written it in Gallifreyan, but yeah, it's one thing that he has never gone back in 900 years, but for the
that's ridiculous.
Entire population of Gallifrey to have never gone and looked at this writing
Also
and
ridiculous.
translated it, yeah.
They're just lazy bums.
I mostly object to it because Moffat says, I'm a genius to be making the Doctor go back here, so I'll make him say that he's a genius and then I'll get away scot-free.
I guess so, yeah.
No.
Okay, this might not be interesting at all, but okay, so is it possible that because she's basically just defiling a Kodak moment from space-time.
A universe heritage site.
Exactly, yeah. And assuming that at some point in his life the Doctor will want to visit said sites, find said clue or coordinates, and then go and find her. That means that when Matt Smith turns up in 102 AD, she would not have been surprised in any way if Hartnell had shown up, or Pertwee, or Capaldi, like in any direction in his life.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like that.
Weird.
Yeah.
When does this happen in her life?
So it's earlier than the last time we saw her.
Yeah, because she says spoilers. She's like, oh, no, don't tell me about that.
But it must be she knows the Doctor quite well. So I don't know. It's really hard to pinpoint her timeline because it's so low.
I really want to draw a diagram.
Yeah. But she's in prison. What's she in prison for?
Oh, yeah.
Dear hero in prison.
Because later she's in prison for...
So she's in prison twice.
So it must be a different thing because
that
hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Maybe she gets caught again. It's like, oh, well... Okay, hang on. In the Angel double episode where she's also, she's on parole, basically.
Yeah.
Is that you constantly escape, so we're now just we're gonna do this with you instead?
She's in prison then for... Spoilers, but killing the Doctor, basically. So that has to happen really late in her timeline. And so if this is earlier in her timeline, it has to be she's in prison for something else.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like Tracy set this all out for us really well, but we just avoided it because of the spoilers.
4 spoilers. The ones that we are diving right into this time. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I really want to draw a diagram of this.
Yeah.
I reckon that could be pretty cool.
I think it'd be interesting to watch all of her episodes in the right order and see it from River's point of view.
And see if it holds up.
And see if it holds up, yeah. And then the Doctor would be all over the place and he would be...
I bet someone's already done this.
Yeah.
Right in!
Oh!
Our live studio audience has just found it.
Thanks, Jim. There it is. It's a little tube map. In fact, I think we've seen this before and described it as a tube map.
We would have made it look much nicer.
Okay. So speaking of heritage sites,
yeah,
has the Doctor really never been to Stonehenge before?
Oh,
because it seems
question.
like a pretty good ace to pull out of the deck at this stage, 46 years in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Jim can look it up for you.
Jim,
Studio
audience,
Research Unit.
Okay, look forward to a break to an interruption in a little moment when we have an answer to this question. That is a really good question, though. It does seem like it's so seminal a Kodak moment that why wouldn't he have been there already? Yeah.
Especially back when they first started filming it, because there were no restrictions. You could just walk right up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really cool that they presumably did clamber all over it this time.
Yeah.
You don't think that was a studio set?
No, I don't think
that
must have been real.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Miriam and I were watching it, and she was still awake for this bit. Yeah, spoiler alert, she fell asleep halfway through this episode. It was late. And she was like, oh yeah, this must have been shot when you were allowed to walk up to it. And just then, you get a shot of Matt Smith just pawing the rock, just oh, dude, that's why we're no longer allowed to do that. Show some respect. Oh. Can I ask a question about or point something out rather, in the prison scene again, going back one step? We get one more instance of, apparently it's okay to have your own makeup when you're in prison.
I love River in prison because I just feel like she's there because she wants to be there. Yeah. That nobody's holding her. She can leave at any point she chooses. She's just sat on the bed reading a book, having a whale of a time. And then she's like, "Oh, I've got the phone. Oh yeah, sure. I'll go rescue my boyfriend now.
I'm just going to use this lipstick that you allow me to have."
She keeps it in her ample cleavage.
That's true.
They don't know where it is.
Why? Because it's just so enormous that you'd send 1,000 men in there and some of them might not come back? No. Okay, I'm going to buy your first explanation. She's there on her own terms.
Yeah.
Like, there's no... But what it did do, it reminded me of something we've seen before, I think. When the master's wife is in prison. No.
Oh, we're not doing cleavage now. Okay.
Not doing cleavage.
I'll go back to sleep.
It's really off character, but like, when she's in prison and there's this weird conspiracy of the prison guards, this cult that just want to revive the master.
Yeah.
There's also a thing there with lipstick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like we had a conversation at the time. It was like, well, she's in prison. Why is she allowed lipstick? Fast forward a whole doctor, and we're getting the same thing again.
Maybe in the future it's like mandatory that women have to wear lipstick.
Hallucinatory.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Jim, have you found anything yet? First time at Stonehenge.
Wow.
In the TV film they went to Stonehenge.
Oh, really? The Paul McGann TV movie. Oh.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. Ah.
Briefly. Probably they just flew past it. I don't know.
The robot professor, Churchy's robot professor, is back.
From Pearsley.
They're all back.
He's
Hello?
back? Or does this happen before the Doctor
I think,
goes
again,
there?
it has to happen afterwards because he has to recognise the TARDIS to know this is a message for the Doctor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Churchy episode, which you wouldn't know this, Drew, but we reviewed that with Winston Churchill.
Oh, fuck's sake. Thanks for inviting me.
It's a shame you missed that one. It was a really special episode.
Did you at least get a picture with him that I can, drool over?
Yes, we did.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we did. He's in Blenheim, holding a stick.
Oh, that's true. That's a cigar.
In that episode, it ends with him escaping. Because if he were to stick around, he would be dissected and die or something.
Yeah.
Right?
But,
he escapes to find his made-up girlfriend.
I think that
If the Docker rocked up later, then Winston would have said, "Here's your painting." That's what he said.
Winston.
Yeah, exactly. So all of these interactions have to happen after the Doctor has seen them because, otherwise he would just be like, "Oh, Doctor, while you're here, I've got a painting of your TARDIS exploding. I should show you." Yeah,
that's true. No, you're 100% right. Why the shit is the robot professor back?
Well, I think that he thought it was so urgent that this painting that he, of all the people, has somehow got his hands on. Where did he find it?
His cold robot hands.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
in a wall
from France? Yeah, in a house in France.
Who sent it to him?
This was 1941 as well. This would have been taken out via Dunkirk. Because this is way before D-Day. This hasn't been, looted by the Allies liberating Europe in Operation Overlord. That's 3 years away.
I'm getting the order wrong. Hang on, can we just go through the order? What happens? So is it Churchy and Roboprof? They find the painting.
Yeah, so Roboprof finds the painting and brings it to Churchy.
Right, okay.
Churchy then calls the Doctor, but River
is rerouted to... Yeah, okay.
And
in connection with that, is there a worse person in history to have to say something very quickly within a minute?
What, than Churchill?
Churchill.
Yeah, as in, when the song says, "Be quick, you've only got a minute." Well,
that's extremely interesting. Let me begin at the beginning. How am I doing for time? I'll try and go faster, but I can't promise anything.
The only person I can think of who might be worse would be Ringo Starr.
Ooh, what would he sound like?
I found your bloody painting. It's bit blue, a bit yellow.
Any reds in there?
Stuff's exploding. No, let me check. No reds. How am I doing for time?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so they call River.
But why does it? So the TARDIS reroutes it. Why does it reroute it to her at that point in time?
The TARDIS knows.
It just...
Yeah. TARDIS is really behind it all.
Yeah, exactly. Why doesn't the TARDIS just reroute it to the Doctor?
Yeah.
Anyway,
can the TARDIS call any phone?
Apparently so, without even being in the middle of it.
Can't it call Amy's cell phone?
There's a fucking phone in the TARDIS.
Yeah, but they might not be in the TARDIS. They might be off on an adventure somewhere.
Wait, so the Doctor doesn't have an answering machine?
But exactly.
Voicemail. Let it go to voicemail.
Or call the person that he's with. Call Amy's phone.
Oh, wait, you know what? Voicemail. At some point in the future, the Gallifreyans just went like, you know what? Voicemail, super outdated. It's really old tech.
Annoying, actually.
It makes no sense. It's
Nobody
impractical.
listens to their messages anymore. They're just piling up, taking up data storage space.
Hey guys, here's a much better idea. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to reroute the call to a prison so that person can escape and then go and defile some archaeological sites just in case the recipient of said call were to visit it.
When River says, why did you do this? And she goes, well, you don't answer your phone. Is that the phone call that she's talking about?
This is the episode that could have been solved with voicemail.
She hasn't tried to call him again. She's just assumed that the TARDIS rerouted it to her because he hasn't picked up, so I'll do this thing.
She only called once.
I know. Try again.
This is bullshit. This episode should be renamed Voicemail, please. But then the Vincent thing just ends.
I know. I really liked when it started with Vincent. It was a really beautiful episode. It was all nostalgic, and we know he can kind of see into other realms, and he sees things that we don't see, and he kind of can sense emotions and things. And that was a really nice opening. And then it's like, and then Churchy comes in, and then Liz 10 comes in, and they just throw in so many pieces of the puzzle. It just felt really overworked.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a bit of overload, though. Yeah, I mean, I could have done without Liz 10.
I think Liz 10 was the one that was a step too far.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Liz 10. I was happy with Liz 10.
Even though she's the bloody queen, mate.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. That was a little callback. It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, to that
Liz
one
10.
line that we all hated. Yeah, okay.
I liked that line.
I'm bloody unoriginal, mate. I'm turning into Michael Caine. Let's carry on. I am the bloody queen.
I want to see Michael Caine on Doctor Who. That guy,
Yes.
how old is Michael Caine? Can we just it's like Michael Caine tangent.
He's old enough to play Doctor Who's dad.
Or the Master.
No? Nah, he's too old.
Okay, fine. Doctor Who's dad. Doctor Who. His name is not Doctor Who.
Mr. Who.
Oh, please. Mr. Who was my father.
And then we come to the Romans. And why is she dressed up like Cleopatra?
That was
in my notes. It's in my notes.
Wasn't that great though?
Why does River wear Egyptian getup?
Yeah, I don't. Wait, why?
Where did she get it from?
Where did she get it from? It's really urgent that she gets this message to the Doctor, but she spends so much time in a dressing up box. Like, she's got a different outfit in every scene, which I love. She's very cool, and she always
It's super cool.
impeccably styled. Yeah, she does. But it seems like a really strange choice.
If she's lipsticking every Roman around, then she might as well wear her future garb, which she does later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super strange. And wouldn't it make more sense for her to pretend to be a Roman?
Yes, that's what there are no famous Roman women that she can.
Well, there are, goddess or something.
They're usually involved in palace intrigue.
How about being a goddess? She could show up and be like, I am Venus.
She could be Venus, and then she could laser things, and they would believe her.
Yeah. Listen to me, Romans. I am Venus. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your penis. It was Moffat indulging his fantasy, and puerile as that is, I liked it.
Yeah,
I do love River in this episode, though. I think she's fantastic.
She's pretty great.
She always knows what she's doing. She's never the feeble woman, and she's like, oh, what do we do now? She's always one step ahead of the Doctor, and she's got her gadgets, and she doesn't rely on him to drive things forward. She's there doing her own thing, and that's really cool.
Yeah, agreed. Very much so. Well, she's the only one who really knows what's going on in a way.
Yeah.
That and the voice saying "Silence will fall."
Oh, I hated that.
Ugh,
yeah, who is that? What is that?
Hated that. And then that the screen has to crack, just like
the crack. Oh.
So super duper naff.
The silence will fall thing really bothers me because
it's not silent for one thing,
and it doesn't relate to in the next series when we find out what the silence is. It's everything is just discarded and started again. Nothing.
Silence is just. I mean, it's just the Greys in suits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't fall. There's nothing that doesn't relate to what they're saying.
Okay. Do they kind of retcon what the crack is as well, though? Towards the 50th anniversary, I feel like at that point the crack is something else?
I can't really remember that.
Is it not? Like on the other side of the crack, or is Gallifrey in there maybe?
I think we're only heading into ambiguity and confusion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But talking of retconning,
there
was some real whiplash I got from... well, no, if you just remember him, then maybe he can come back. You shouldn't be here. You were very definitely forgotten. 5 minutes later when Rory turns up. And then afterwards it folds back on itself again. And it's like, I could say anything at this
how
point.
does it fold back onto itself again?
Because then... after the Doctor has said, no, Rory, it's impossible, you can't be forgotten, then, okay, it's explained, but it's like...
oh, and then he's like, oh, go and get her again. Don't worry about it, you'll remind her.
Yeah.
You're right.
And she does remember him. And then she spends a long time trying to convince him that he's human, because then he will become human.
That's
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly
do we
what
know
she
that that's
did.
the case? Do we know that that's the case, or is that just sort of your assumption? Because that was my assumption as well.
Well,
but
that's what
never
she's trying
explicitly
to do,
said.
because that's what she did with Bracewell in the Churchill
Oh, well
episode.
done for remembering his name.
Yes! What was his name?
No, I think you're right. I think we kept saying Braithwaite by mistake.
I kept saying Braceface.
I need to re-listen to that episode.
I've had no vodka this time, though. I can say his name properly.
Oh, I've got vodka.
But that's exactly the same. I remember really, really hating that. And it's just like, just remember old Ethel, and then you'll stop being a bomb and start being a real human.
What was her name? Ethel.
Dora. Dorabella.
Dorabella. It's clearly.
And yeah, she's just doing the same to Rory. Although, when she does it to Braceface, she's all like, ooh, she's all like sexy and like, remember it's like naughty and to like someone that you can't have. Da, da, da.
Of course. Yeah.
And then she does it with Rory, and this is your fiance who you thought had died and has come back, and she still doesn't fucking tell him that she loves him.
Oh my
God,
didn't even dawn on me.
Say the words, Amy.
You're so right.
I thought it was very telling when Amy was crying. She's like, I'm happy. What the fuck is this? I don't know how to feel. It's like she's the robot. My emotion circuits that are... Okay, I have another thing in connection with that.
Okay.
So Rory is a Roman. He's part of the invading force. He's surrounded by Iron Age Celts. And yet one girl with red hair turns up, and it has to be Amy.
Oh, because he loves her and he's hoping that it's her.
He must have had false alarms since he shipped across the channel. He's like, is that Amy? No. Are you Amy? No.
Oh.
10,000 a day.
None
Just
of them are
keeps
Amy.
slaughtering his way through the country till he finds Amy. Kill off every last indigenous inhabitant.
Poor Rory. I find it so weird that it was like, how long has he been there as a Roman? Because I would have thought he was like just kind of brought into being to be this, like these Romans have
It
just
seems like he's
here
been there
now.
a while.
But yeah, he's like, I've got memories. I have a Roman life, and I started to think it was a dream. So he must have been living as a Roman for a really long time.
He did the Picard thing.
What's the
Presumably.
thing?
Like there's what's the episode called? I'm sure this has been referenced on Who Back When before, where there's an episode of Star Trek TNG where Picard gets hit by some like alien wibbly wobbly thing, and he wakes up on an alien planet, and he is himself, but he's just woken up from a dream, and the whole TNG storyline was just a dream. And he lives a whole life. He has
learns how to
grandchildren,
play an instrument.
a flute,
There you go.
and then he dies. And when he dies, he wakes up and he's himself again. And it's just like this memory box, so that people don't forget this civilization. I reckon Rory has memories of being, whether he's been there for that long or not, he has memories of a Roman life equivalent to his physical age. So let's say he's he's meant to be 20-something?
21, I think they are.
I think I know what that episode was called. It was called B-Team Rides a Late Season Filler.
That's a really good episode. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, I see what you're saying, though. I'm assuming that they haven't built a Roman a Roman, is legion the right words? Or whatever, like a platoon.
It's a legion. They even mention the word legions in the episode.
But they also in the episode say, but you're not quite a legion, you're just 50 people or something like
no,
that.
that's
But
just
they
how
don't
many
send-
volunteers Rory could
Oh,
count.
Yeah.
you're right.
That's
Okay, so I reckon they
probably
haven't created a fake legion with fake lives and let them live for 21 years. They probably just did it roughly the amount of time minimum that
it takes
River
to
has
make
been
a
there.
Pandorica.
Oh, the Pandorica, they could just plop in there, right?
Who made the Pandorica?
That's a good question. Why is there a dead Cyberman in there?
And
Well, it's not dead. It's just disassembled.
Okay, why is there a dismembered Cyberman underneath Stonehenge?
if the because he was a century and then a god, one of the Roman gods. But why would the Roman gods go and kill the Cyberman actually? Because
And then just leave the Pandorica there.
because they're
No, he says druids.
they're on
like,
the same side.
Doesn't the doctor say like, those druids, you can't really... the Celts, you can't really... you can't trust them or something. He says to the dead Cyberman.
Yeah, but he doesn't know who killed him.
No, that's true.
So he's just making it up.
I think the Alliance is just stalling for time while the Pandorica scans the Doctor. So the Doctor keeps thinking he's buying half an hour, but actually he's just letting it go through its scanning program. And
love that. Because when he does the whole speech, he stands on the rock and he's like this kind of rock star and he's talking to all these 10,000 ships and he's got his microphone. And I think I remember the first time round quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
And thinking, you tell them, like, they're all backing off and like, wow, that's so cool. And then when you watch it with hindsight, it's such a different episode when you know what's going to happen. And they all back off and they're like, oh yeah, they fooled you. You think that you're buying time, but actually they're like, this is their plan. They're just waiting until it's open so they can put you in it. You haven't done anything.
Pathos.
But wait. So is the suggestion that they aren't even responsible for opening it? They know when it's going to open.
I think it must be on it like
it's on a timer or something.
I think it's mentioned in the next episode that it's
like
to do
time
with touch.
Oh.
So he walks in, the first thing he does is put his hand on it, and I think that triggers it opening. So they've put it there, and they've like synced it in with his DNA somehow.
But they've also made it look like the cover of the book in Pond's childhood bedroom.
Yeah.
Which book is that, by the way? Is that the
Pandora's
the novelization of Pandora's Box?
Yeah, didn't you read that as a child?
So A, which book? B, how fucked up was her childhood?
It was the early 2000s, in the wake of Clueless and Mean Girls, there was a US teen adaptation, The Pandora Diaries, and it was a whole high school drama thing. It ran for years.
When is this series?
2010.
2010. So 2010, Amy is 21.
Yeah. So perfect target demographic for watching The Pandora Diaries. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
But so River goes to her childhood bedroom in 2010, and it's not her childhood bedroom, it's her 21-year-old bedroom. She was about to get married in that bedroom.
Yeah, she still has her childhood.
All of her childhood things are around. Her school book is out.
Yeah, but this is the exact same thing that was happening on the night of, like, the eve of her marriage, when she still had her childhood drawings all over the place.
But it was
absolutely crazy.
It was all the Doctor stuff though, because that's like she's obsessed with the Doctor, and that was all there. But to have this like random Roman school book that that was my favourite subject at school, why would you still have that?
Does she? Oh, you're right.
I still got a load of crap lying around in my childhood bedroom.
Just on the side,
but it's not ready to read. But it's not
nothing's buried under that much.
But when you say your childhood bedroom, you are not referring to the bedroom that you also lived in, like slept in for 21 years.
I have moved on, yeah.
Exactly. Whereas this is the room. It was her bedroom when she was a child, but it was also her bedroom when she was in her 20s and about to get married.
The Doctor arrested her development. We've established this.
Yeah.
Even though she then became a strippogram.
When you don't think that's maybe related? This traumatized child. Wait, I had a follow-on thought and I've forgotten it.
Oh, sorry.
What were we talking about?
I had a follow-on thought.
Go on, you do yours.
Which was that, did anyone really buy the Romans? The ultimate fighting machine in the universe.
Oh.
Because they have tortoise shield formation and march in squares, which makes them unstoppable.
Yeah, no, Miriam and I were also oohing about that. They were great for their historical context, but then maybe like this is also the episode where we meet the potato dudes. What are they called again?
Centaurans.
There we go. The potato dudes. The Centaurans. They show up, and they are
the space Romans.
They are the space. They are bred for like just warfare. They are incredible tacticians, etc. And potato lookalikes. Surely they would be higher up the scale than Romans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, without question.
Without question.
And it's not even like, is it relative to your level of technology? Or Romans, they didn't have laser weapons, but they did have these things.
What they would have done if they'd had the technology.
Exactly. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
It's like, are they better for their times than sometimes are for theirs?
Because at the current time he's using the Romans, they don't have technology. They just still have the swords.
They have nothing.
So, yeah, and there's 10,000 ships out there. Like,
they don't even have an aqueduct to show off. Like there's nothing.
And might I add also at this point, Arminius, the German warlord who defeated Publius Quinctilius Varus.
Oh.
Immortalised in I Claudius when Brian Blessed said, "Publius Quintilius Varus, where are my legions?"
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Blessed. Thank you.
So the Romans weren't even top dogs in their day every time. So bullshit. I call bullshit. So much bullshit.
Do you want to watch I Claudius this weekend?
Oh, yes. Do you know who's in it?
Okay.
Marie, did you think of your thought?
yeah, but we've moved on now.
No, we haven't.
Oh,
it was
let's revisit it.
Because we were talking about Amy and her child. She has this Arrested Development, and she's things about Amy. And he says to her, "Doesn't it ever bother you that your life doesn't make sense?" And the only thing he tells her is, "Your house is too big." Like,
yeah.
Like, come on, Doctor. Like, I don't know.
Like, you're far too good looking not to be hitched by now.
Yeah. Like, what is it about her when he grabbed her when he took her with him?
Yeah.
Was it literally just that you have too many spare
you have
bedrooms?
a spare? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, her parents died.
Why don't you at least have a lodger? You could make some money on the
I
sides.
know. That just seems like such a feeble reason. Because I think things happen later on where because she doesn't remember is it the Daleks or the Cybermen she's forgotten about?
Oh, is that what's happening? I didn't realize, because I asked Miriam last night, like probably woke her at the time. Like, wait, has she never met Cybermen before?
Yeah.
But has she met Cybermen and forgotten about it?
Forgotten about it, yeah. And
When did she meet Cybermen?
Well, we don't see her with a Cyberman, but
but
he
she
sort
will
of
have.
says, in your time, like in the time that you've been alive, Cybermen have invaded the Earth, and you should remember them. And why don't you?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, or Daleks. I can't remember which one it is.
Well,
Maybe
both. Cybermen, the Army of Ghosts.
Yeah, yeah. But all of that comes after he's like snatched her on her wedding night. So I don't know. It just seems a bit weird to say your life doesn't make sense and then just leave it at that. And she sat there going,
Wait. Does it? Does it happen after?
Yeah. Well, that's the first.
No, the Cybermen invaded during Tenant times.
No, but I'm saying he says to Amy, your life doesn't make sense, and that's why I chose you to come with me.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know at that point that she's forgotten about the Cybermen.
Oh, I see.
I
don't know. There's a lot that should make more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there is. I think Eki,
yes.
he objected to the through line of this series being just so obvious and hitting you right between the eyes.
I couldn't agree more.
And, I mean, that sort of upfront thing to object to, in a way, papers over the cracks, if you will, of many more subtle sort of failings that accompany it in this, like, nothing really adds up.
Yeah.
Does it? I mean, Eki loves Bad Wolf. He hates this. What's your take on the comparison of the two?
Wait, are you asking me?
Asking anyone who will answer.
I'm siding with Eki. Bad Wolf was done much more neat. I mean, but this isn't just about this episode. In general, the crack was mishandled. Like it's too obvious. It's too blunt.
All of these 10,000 spaceships that have arrived,
or 100,000, or a million,
however, at least 12,000.
After 10,000, you just can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I think so.
At that point, it's just numbers.
Are these all from this time period, or have they all travelled back in time from the date when the explosion happens?
Well, little Dave Hedgehog turns up, although probably a clone, since the Sontarans are all clones.
But that's the thing, a lot of them are really recognisable, and the Daleks are the
Power Ranger Daleks.
New generation Daleks, yeah. But
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Were they still trying to sell the Daleks? Is that what's going on?
Oh, maybe.
Available in all good toy stores.
we haven't seen a Dalek since then, right?
Yeah.
So they still haven't. Yeah, they just haven't given up yet. Must be what it is. But I made a note of a few aliens that show up or that are mentioned. And even though they don't necessarily need to stem from different times, we do get a mention of 2 aliens and a possible sighting of a 3rd alien race from Classic Who. We get a mention of the Darwin, who are the Darwin of Galaxy 4, who appear in the serial Galaxy 4, that may or may not take place in Galaxy 4. The Draconians of, I can't remember what it was called, something. And there's a possible sighting. I'm not sure. I'll get a screenshot of this and I'll pop it on the website, whoback.com. I think there might be an Iridian, which are the inhabitants of the planet Iridius, which is a very arid planet, but they are fish people. So they have like a fin over the top, basically like a punk rock alien, but it's like a fish fin, dorsal fin type thing. I think we get to see one of those. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. How did you all feel about the Alliance?
I don't know. But the thing is, it's like, how did they all come together? How did it work? Like
teamwork, the League of Super Friends, wavy hand.
This is why I don't know whether they're all supposed to be able to time travel, because in order to know where the crack originated and know that it was the Doctor and the TARDIS that did it, they must have people in that time frame. But if every species known to humanity can time travel, then why are Time Lords so...
I don't think there's any time travel.
No.
Well, maybe there is on the Daleks part. But I think the rest are just... Oh, wait, hang on. The Cybermen that we see are modern Cybermen as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, so maybe aside from the Daleks and the Cybermen, there is no time travel. The rest are just like the aliens of the day.
But they're just taking the Daleks at their word. They're like, yeah, we've seen the future, and it's all his fault.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so at which point does the League of Doom fall apart? It's when the Daleks show up. It's like, all right, so wait, the Iridians have shown up. They want to cooperate. Well, we don't really trust them, but let's do it. Maybe we could League of Doom this.
The Nestine consciousness say they're good for it.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right, so we've got the Nestines, we've got the Iridians. Wait, so we've got some Darwin and some Draconian. That's really cool. The Nestine are going to show up as Romans. That's awesome. Daleks, I'm out. Yeah. Every time the Daleks show up, they double cross, they fuck everyone over. I'm out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right? So, we had in the Daleks Master Plan, which is that massive 12-episode epic from William Hartnell's day, we had I can't remember what they were called, but it was basically this. It was like a collaboration of a bunch of evil alien races and the Daleks. And the Daleks screwed everyone over, and it would have worked had it just not been for the Daleks. So I wonder if this could be so much more realistic if the Daleks just weren't there and they were like, the Daleks also wanted to be in on this. We didn't let them. Yeah.
Or everyone but the Daleks could have been there at the beginning of the scene. Then the fucking Power Rangers turn up and everybody's like, oh,
ruined it for everyone.
Did we miss anything? Sup, bitches? Let's get this party started.
See, I was going to say that I don't like alliances. Ever since I saw a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode in 1990.
Episode.
And in it, some worse foe than Shredder and Krang and all the usual crew turn up, and Shredder, voiced by the immortal James Avery, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes. He begrudgingly, as Shredder, has to make peace with the Turtles and unite with them, and it's the lamest thing I've ever seen to this day, 28 years later.
So is that a bad guys team up with the good guys for one episode?
Yeah.
Trope? But that's not really what we get here.
I know it's not what we get here, but it's close. It's so close that I don't like bad guys not
being solo bad guys.
Yeah, they're contravening their raison d'etre, essentially. I can't stand contravention. So I sort of liked it, but at the same time, it cut me to my quick.
Do we ever get it in, anything similar in Doctor Who? Do you get the...
Well, you just mentioned where the Daleks...
Yeah, well, in New Who, I guess I'm thinking. We get a meeting of Daleks and Cybermen, but we never get a cooperation between them.
Because that's the first thing he says when they realise there's Cybermen there as well. It's like, oh, just turn them against each other. That's easy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, they've done that before. The Cybermen, this was at Jim's point, actually. Hi, audience member Jim. The Cyberman, attacking Amy,
That is an amazing scene.
But why does it jump
wait,
at her?
wait, carry on. Let me carry on.
Because I really liked it. I think it's a really cool scene. It looks amazing. But, is that how Cybermen behave? Because if it can do that, why does it need a body?
Why does it need a human brain? It seems to be doing quite well on its own as a robot.
It's walking, it's doing the head thing, it's intelligent, it's aiming, it can shoot at you without a face.
It's
basically a Medusa.
It even talks to her and everything.
So why do they need a body?
Well, why does it need a robot body?
No, why does it need the human body? If the robot can work on its own. Was it not just like...
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Why does it need autonomous?
It defeats the point of being a Cyberman, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you wipe everything that is human away from them, and I was thinking the body is there just to give...
Oh, it's because the human brain is so much better at computing stuff than computers.
Like computers are.
Well, I mean, in a way it is. Isn't it?
Is it?
Are you giving up so easily to the advance of AI? I'm still holding out. I've got to, or I'll take my job.
Well,
I mean, Marie's fine. She massages people. Although, wait, that Boston robot that can now jump up and backwards, that'll be massaging people for you.
I'm going to say, that's not really a large part of my job.
No?
You don't do backflips.
Okay. Flogging stuff at high markup. Robots can't do that.
But yeah, that was just a note on the side, Matt. But I did like that scene. That was really cool when she was all entangled. It was all of her arms, and it felt like there was no way to get away.
It was quite horrific as well.
Yeah,
it was scary as balls. I mean, when it was snapping, ridiculous as that may seem, as it was happening, before I'd had the chance to critically be like, I wasn't scared at all, and now I sneer at that scene. It's fucking terrifying.
And especially because the doc's out as well. He gets electrocuted or whatever, and she's on her own, and this thing is attacking her. It's really scary.
Yeah, in a creepy dark cave. That's about as horrific as Doctor Who gets. The skull just tumbles out, just crumbles out, basically onto her feet. Now she's being eaten alive by a snapping robot head.
I agree with everything you're saying, and I love the scene, but I think I would have loved it even more if it hadn't been for the snapping. If it just... Like, why? It's just...
How's it going to get her face into the...
But it's not.
Skull.
Well, then what? Then her face is going to be the wrong way around. Like, no, it seems as though it's like, is it going to eat her face, like her head, layer by layer until it gets to the brain, and then like, what? Why is it chomping at her? But I agree, it was a great scene.
And then Rory comes to the rescue.
Rory.
Oh, Rory.
Oh my goodness.
The scene when the Doc doesn't...
How have we not really discussed the whole Rory conundrum?
That is the best scene.
And how great Arthur Darvill's acting is.
Oh my God,
he's amazing.
He is amazing.
Whoa.
I love him so much.
We know you do.
At least he didn't die in this episode. When Tracy from America's Daughter said, I don't like the episode where Rory dies, the next question was, which one? There are so many. He survived this one, although apparently Amy didn't.
Well, I don't know, because he's a robot now, so how much of Rory is really left?
Well, I mean, judging from the robot's own protestations, he is Rory.
Yeah, because somehow, I guess subconsciously, she remembers all that he was and has...
Does she? Because then... Why does she say, you're my boyfriend? Why does she not say, you're my fiancé? She's holding the goddamn ring.
Oh, that's...
He hadn't proposed yet.
Oh, it's my boyfriend.
That was all stashed away. He was about to drop that on her.
Or, wait, hang on. Wait. So the Nestine consciousness took her memories and created a world based on those memories, including Rory, and it based that on a photo of Rory in her book at home. Why is that photo there if he doesn't exist? If he's been erased from history?
True. Starts to fall apart, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I would maybe just cut the photo and just have it be like, it's somewhere deep within her subconscious.
Yeah.
You just can't beat love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the photo shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that should be a solo Polaroid.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless...
awkwardly framed.
Unless we don't know at what point they went back and took the snapshot and how long this has all been in the works. So if they took a snapshot and did it...
No, because in this timeline, there is no Rory.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
sure.
never have existed.
Okay. Well, the ring is still there. That's never really explained.
Was it in the TARDIS?
Yeah.
When he was erased, and therefore it's sort of immune to it.
Yeah.
Although when the Doctor's telling Amy to remember, her memories are sort of in the TARDIS, so it's not like the TARDIS has a force field that protects it.
Yeah, but that's why her memories are still there, really, really buried somewhere inside. So she does remember him when she's confronted with him and he's there. She does remember him.
Yeah, yeah.
So the TARDIS has protected it a little bit.
Wait, is that the TARDIS or is that love?
It's not love.
Well, isn't there... I mean, doesn't the Doctor say something like, oh, well, if you really...
remember a person that's never existed.
But, okay, no, that's true. But... Wait, what does the Doctor say? No, you're right. He doesn't say anything about love. He says something like, if you remember someone, you can make them come back to life or something like that.
When Rory dies?
No. In this episode, yeah, the Doctor says to Amy when she
people who fall out of the world, they always leave traces, whereas before they would never have existed.
Bruce Forsyth, everybody.
Half-eaten sandwiches. Why do you leave a half-eaten sandwich?
Nothing's ever forgotten, not completely.
All of a sudden, Amy starts remembering things. The TARDIS fills up with half-eaten sandwiches. Yeah.
No, don't try and justify Moffat's endless zigzagging. It does not add up.
No.
I did like that Rory was reactivated from her psychic residue, in the sense that there was, a logical inference from that to him existing when he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But the larger point of that just shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
Is unaffected.
But also, if he's based on her memory or her subconscious or maybe like wishful thinking, does that mean that all of a sudden he speaks in a slightly more baritone voice and he's got a bigger dick? Or like he's braver, or he's just like, oh man, Rory's never been this witty.
I think he'd be more feeble though.
More feeble.
The way she treats it.
It's like that episode of Rick and Morty where they're like the subconscious manifestation of how you perceive your partner, and like one is just terrific. Like Rory would perceive her, Amy, as being this despot,
this gigantic talon-infested creature of all angles and hate and malice.
No.
Exactly.
Whereas Rory turns out to just be a slug.
Exactly.
Oh, poor Rory.
Who offers his butt to everyone. Please watch Rick and Morty. It's so good. I have a question about a line that I didn't catch this at all, really. But there's one bit where River goes into Amy's old house and she's on like some sort of weird temporal radio, space-time radio with the Doctor. And she says, yada, 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 that's why houses have ghosts. Or maybe the Doctor says that. Oh, the Doctor says, okay. I missed the full explanation. What is that?
Structures can house memories.
Oh.
That's it. That's the explanation.
So if
walls had ears...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where they get her memories from. It's not just the physical things in the room. It is like they're getting an essence.
So the house itself has...
Yeah, it retains her essence.
Yeah. And his essence.
And therefore his essence, yeah.
Which also makes no sense, because he was never in that house.
In her memories.
But now you're back to her memories as opposed to the memories of the house.
No, but the house holds her memories.
Oh.
Like a ghost.
Oh.
Like a friendly ghost.
Check.
Plus, there are no gods, because when a soldier sets out to kill people, he isn't stopped from killing people. So that's that cleared up. The more you know.
Oh. Did you not like that scene?
Scene was fine. Logic was balls.
No. Forget.
My note is River's trapped in the TARDIS, unable to control it. That happened with Amy last week.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but River knows how to fly the TARDIS. Like, she should be able to...
There's a lot of very similar, jolting peril, though.
Yeah,
but she also manages to land it and everything.
But the difference is, Amy last week, she's just wandering around going, oh, what do I do now? And screaming and falling over and doing nothing.
Why can't someone make this happen for me?
Exactly. And River is like, I got this. Like, and she tries everything, and everything the Doctor is like, do this. And she's like, I've tried. Like, I've done that already. Give me something new. And he doesn't tell her anything she hasn't already done. Like, she's so fucking awesome. And
stop trying to mansplain the TARDIS, the Doctor.
Exactly. And the last scene where she finally manages to land the TARDIS, and the doors won't open, and she wires it all up, and she blasts it out, and she thinks she's free, and she opens the doors. There's a brick wall there. That's amazing. I love that scene.
Okay, so did I.
Okay.
But where is she? Is there any Oh, I don't know. She's just like, she's landed in exactly the right place, but the TARDIS is facing the
Facing the wrong way.
Well, I mean, maybe it hasn't landed sunny side up. Maybe that's rock.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah. You're
bedrock.
Yeah, maybe. But okay. But did either of you ever feel any peril in that moment? Because we know that I mean, we've already seen how she dies or is transferred into a Matrix forever. And we know that the Angel episode takes place later in her lifetime, so we know that this isn't the end of it anyway, and so on and so forth. Like, is there really a serious sense of peril here?
I don't think I was ever sense of peril about her personally dying, but it was more about she needs to stop this catastrophe. This TARDIS needs to be okay.
Okay.
And therefore stop the cracks and everything. And I felt there was definitely peril there because she couldn't do what she needed to do to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is take your logic a step further and be like, well, is there really peril and everyone will die and there won't be another series? Because, of course, nobody's actually gonna die, but it looks pretty convincing that they might. Yeah. And also, the concept of death has just been cheapened in general. Roy's already died twice. So they could bring her back, but she could actually die along the way.
Really looking forward to season 12 or whatever it is, when everyone shows up and everyone's made out of plastic and it's just a facsimile of their former selves.
Yeah, and don't forget, the Doctor has been through 55 billion years of digital iterations at this point, or whatever it was in Heaven Sent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Was it really that long a time?
Maybe not 55 billion, but it was, it was quite a while. The stars
punch his way
shifted.
through, like, diamonds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. A nice line, I thought, which was, and I'll soundbite this, but it's...
I hate good wizards and fairy tales. They always turn out to be him.
Oh, I love that line, yeah. And it's nice that it's not true this time. He's not the wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
The good wizard. He's the evil wizard, yeah.
But that all the more just cemented in me the assumption that, okay, so he must be the bad guy of the fairy tale. Ipso facto, the box is going to open and we're going to see him in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you thought the first time around?
No. I kind of assumed that I thought the same, and then forgot about it.
Because it is really difficult, because I remember it so clearly. From word go, you know that he's going to be in the box, and it's really difficult to read it any other way. And actually, he comes across as really stupid in this episode, because it takes him a really, really long time to realise that they're going to put him in the box. There's been so many things leading up to it.
Yeah, and he's talking about someone just falls out of the sky. And he ruins your planet, and then he buggers off again.
And all of your enemies are here to see that. Who could you possibly be?
A trickster. A mischief maker.
and then they say a couple of times the box is ready, and he's like, "Oh, what do you mean ready? Don't you mean opening?" He's like, No, it's ready. We're going to put you in it. And it's still...
It's like, come on, at this point the audience gets
I think he's got 2 Roman soldiers on each arm and they're dragging him towards the box, and he's like, so who's coming out of the box then? He hasn't got a fucking clue. Oh dear.
I think that I hoped and wanted it not to be the Doctor. I can't remember whether I ever suspected that it was the Doctor, but I thought maybe they will introduce some great new villain at this point. Sort of, to crown Moffat's first series, maybe he will take a great original leap into the unknown.
Have a new Master Point 2.
Yeah.
Or just something iconic that can run and run in the series.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mean like a new master. I mean someone to have the same stature as the master, as the nemesis.
Yes.
We need that, by the way.
Yeah, we really do.
We really do need that.
I mean, we talked a lot about... We didn't talk a lot about... We talked a bit about what we want from season 11, and partly I don't want Jodie Whittaker's Doctor to be entirely defined by her past.
Yeah.
And I want the show to go places rather than, ticking boxes and keeping people happy. Fucking head out to the furthest reaches of the universe and just have a whale of a time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, but I fear that's not going to be the case. I think because it's a female Doctor, the BBC is going to be slightly afraid of taking risks, and they're going to, in order to appease all the people who don't want it to stray too much from this is a different conversation, isn't it? But who don't want it to stray too much from what they recognize as the only true Doctor Who, they are going to have to face, the Doctor's going to have to face the same old foes, and we're going to have a lot of, the same logic of the series that we've had so far. Sorry.
Rory shoots Amy, by the way.
Oh, he does.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I didn't actually see it coming. I mean, I've seen Love Save the Day so many times. It was a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember what happens in the next episode?
I remember that it's called The Big Bang, and that's a big clue. Universe 2.0, but I can't remember anything else.
You remember exactly, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched the first couple of minutes of the next episode.
Is it exactly what you don't expect, and everyone dies except Rory?
Ooh.
He rebuilt everything.
Yeah.
He like Doc Manhattan's everything. It's a world of crystalline facsimiles led by a plastic facsimile. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Nice.
Why not?
Isn't that Westworld?
Yeah, pretty much. And now it is time to rate this.
Did we love or hate this?
Bing bong, bing bong, hey la 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 la.
Ratings.
Why don't you go first, Marie?
Sure, that sounds like a great idea.
Then we'll repeat your points soon afterwards.
Damn you! I don't know. I really struggled with this one. I really enjoyed it the first time round, and then I think watching it again, I sort of started to pull it apart a little bit and pick more holes in it, and kind of realised.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I know. And I was kind of expected to come here and you'd pick even more further holes in it, and I would just be like, I don't know. But there are some really good moments. I love when Rory comes back. I love River. Let's talk more about Rory. I love Rory so damn much. And I love the scene where Rory's there and the Doc's just ignoring him and being like, hold this, Rory, and I'm missing something completely obvious, and da-da-da. And it's just pure comedy gold. Like, it's such a sweet little scene. And he acts his little heart out, and it's beautiful. And so definitely gets bonus points for that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that don't add up. So I'm kind of hovering in the middle somewhere.
Oh.
Well, kind of high middle.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to go for like a 3.8.
That's very high middle. Jim is grinning in recognition. Is that what you would have given it, Jim?
Yeah.
Wow. Hive mind. Me, am I next?
If you want to.
Okay. I think that Rory is a tender, genuine, wholehearted presence. Why haven't we talked about Rory? I mean, there was just silence for the last 3 minutes that we could have been talking about Rory and how great he is. But anyway, I think that the ending of this is something else. It's some sort of archetype. River and the TARDIS are fucked. The Doctor is locked in an infinity eternity box. Amy has been lasered to death. Rory is broken again. It's like we've had setups in the past, and oh, by the way, every sun in the universe is supernovaing. It's amazing. Silence is literally falling. I mean, have the stakes ever been higher? Has there ever been a bigger cliffhanger in anything? Anything. The universe is imploding, exploding. We don't know which. It's ploding. We know that much. The universe is generally ploding. I mean, there's not a second of preview, which, as I said at the beginning, is plus 0.5. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to give it a 4.2. It's madcap, and there are shit bits, but boy, is it a thrill ride.
I'm going to go, ratings-wise, right in between the two of you.
Oh, nice.
Hot. I'm giving this a 4.0. You've already both summed this up very, very nicely. The climax of the episode in particular is what sort of gets me. There's so much emotion there, and we normally rave about episodes that end on a cliffhanger. This is an episode that ends on like 5 of them. I really wanted to give this a 4 point something. Yeah, 4.0. 4.0! I cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah.
And I can remember a few details about it as well. Sort of. And really looking forward to it.
I really hope it is as good as I remember it being. Because I think normally second parters were a bit like, oh.
Yeah, normally I think we tend to give the second part a little bit lower of a score.
Or a big
than the first one. Oh, was there? Or a much lower score.
Because that's the thing, the first part, you always get yourself into these situations. It's like, how can you possibly escape? And then it's always a bit of a like, oh.
Tune into the next episode, average 2.5.
Yeah.
The Doctor Sonic Star 1 reverses its polarity, and hey, everything reverses.
But I remember it being a better episode than that, so I'm really hopeful for the next one that it will continue this. Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I would have liked the Daleks when they turned up to be a bit more impactful than they were. Now I think about it. If they'd said to the Doctor,
Doctor, have you ever seen Slumdog Millionaire? That's what we're doing with Amy. Literally that.
then that would have been fine.
I've not seen it. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah, no, well, no, but
Not really. I had a question.
Wait, is she going to win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is that what's happening?
every question that is answered on Slumdog Millionaire relates to the guy's previous life
Oh.
in some way. So every artifact that River picks up is a clue to their current situation. That's very Slumdoggy.
Oh, I see.
I just had a recollection as to why I was going a bit lower than you guys, and I actually it's because
And we've run out of time.
when they're dragging him into the box, he's chained up and he's saying like I can help you, let me out, the supernova, da, da, da. And they're like, no, we're saving the planet, we're going to put you in this box. Why at that point does none of them just think we could just kill you right here? Why do they trap him in a box?
Oh.
The Daleks are there. The Cybermen are there. They have no problem killing people.
Dave Hedgehog is toting a massive gun.
Yeah. Why do they not just kill him and get it over and done with? Why the box in the first place? And then,
torture?
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
It must be torture, right?
Really?
That's the only
Yeah, I bet there was a less kid-friendly draft that was like, you're going to have the rest of time to think about how we've locked you up. Ha, ha, ha.
Exactly, because the inference is you will live as long as this box exists. It's not like, well, you're going to be in here for another, until you run out of oxygen in about 5 days and then you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, must be torture.
Yeah, there's going to be 1 billion years of waterboarding and then 1 billion years on the rack and all sorts of stuff.
But he's in a time lock, so he won't actually feel anything.
Oh, I missed that.
Is he in a time lock?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
one
then
of the layers of when
Well, that's a
River's-
time stop. But isn't that to stop someone from the outside connecting with the time on the inside? We don't know that time on the inside is actually stopped.
Wait, does that mean that if and when it is opened again in the future for whomever has been inside, it's as though no time has passed? Is that what that means?
Yeah,
We don't know.
I think so.
In that case, that's fine. I mean, lock me up in that. That doesn't.
I'm going to
doesn't
say
seem
no.
too bad.
You're gonna open it up, and in 1,000 years, it's going to be super Dobby in there. Super wrinkly, tiny,
But
mega
also-
Dobby.
But that means that time is passing in there.
Yeah, that's what
But
I
if
think.
time is
Oh, okay.
passing in there, he needs to eat. He can't just live indefinitely.
It seems as though this
Will
thing
he
is going to
just-
keep him alive, right?
Will he just die and regenerate and die and regenerate and die and regenerate? No.
Because also, there's a finite amount of regeneration,
Yeah.
right? At least in this point in the Doctor Who history,
Yeah.
pre-50th anniversary.
Okay, maybe you're right.
Well, maybe the next episode is going to reveal this.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, stay tuned. Listener minis?
Oh yeah.
All right. Listener minis. Now let's hear from Podcast Land. Max to 50.
Or it would get out of hand. So who's the first one from?
It's from Michael Ridgway. Perfect.
Love you, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Michael begins. The Doctor visits Stonehenge and is put in a box. Things I liked a lot.
River hamming it up as Cleopatra.
The reveal that the Romans are Autons. More Autons, please.
3. Cybermen being scary. The terrifying Cyberhead attacking Amy reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yes.
The bit where the skull falls out is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, very true.
Sure. Number 4, the twist and trap, and the musical montage of the Doctor being dragged into the Pandorica.
Goodbye, my friend.
Number 5, the fist-clenching Cyberman that says, seal the Pandorica. Fist-clenching Cybermen were all the rage in 1980s classic Who, last seen in Seventh Doctor, Silver Nemesis, when the Cyber leader issues fist-clenching order, eradicate them, against a bunch of neo-Nazis who are duly eradicated. Wonderful.
Michael follows up with some beefs. Number 1, Auton Rory. Glad as I am to see Rory again. How exactly did this happen?
Good question.
Rory was wiped from existence. Why is he in a photograph in Amy's room? Well, might we bring up that same point, Michael?
Well observed, Michael, yes. Number 2, the whole believe it and it will come true bollocks. Last seen with the rubbish flying Doctor in Last of the Time Lords.
And number 3, this is an awesome cliffhanger, but I anticipate it will be fudged in part 2, particularly Amy's quote-unquote death.
Michael follows up with some bonus questions. I'm assuming the League of Villains is a temporary arrangement. It would be sad to see the Daleks and Cybermen going soft on their core principles of exterminating, assimilating all other life.
And silence will fall. Do we ever find out who says this?
And he gives this a score of 3.1 out of 5 decapitated loony cyberheads.
Nice.
Michael, you are awesome.
Excellent review, Michael. Love you,
thank
Michael.
you.
Thanks, Michael.
Love you. Next one comes from David E.
Bag on.
Okay then, David begins. Here we get the first taster of a Stephen Moffat 2-part finale. It's all kind of intriguing to begin with. We sort of get a greatest, or not so greatest, hits of some of the previous episodes. There's even a bit of Churchy. So will we be hearing his voice on the podcast?
Slash doc posts.
It's in my notes, it's in my notes. Like a greatest hits package.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, well done. David E., you are super duper in sync with Drew over here. David E. continues, it's good to see River again once that unconvincing wig comes off. Wait, what?
You weren't buying that.
And there are some really great scenes with the disembodied Cyberman in the cave underneath Stonehenge. Rory's back, but still hasn't grown a pair. I can't say I like Smith's speechifying all that much.
Bugger off, you lot.
Every dark day, I can't do it.
Every black day I come and fuck you up, one by one.
Sound bites. But River mentions the Draconians. That's right, from Frontier in Space, in brackets, Classic Who. And even Chelonians have turned up. They've only appeared in books so far. Chelonians? I missed that one. Nice one, David.
David E. goes on, and it looks like they'll only ever appear in books, because when they land, it's just a bunch of aliens we've all seen before, plus some extras that are Autons. Might as well just be normal people. Also, is it me, or is it kind of strange to see the Silurians there? I didn't think they'd been established as go-to bad guys.
I didn't think they'd been established as go-to bad guys either.
Well, they're just hanging out.
Listen to Marie get more northern. 5 lines of it.
Oh, you're just itching, ain't you, love? So, all of this had been a trap created by them. How on earth have they put all of this together?
And then for some reason, Amy's dead and TARDIS has exploded. Colour me interested and a little bit entertained. 2.3.
Nice one, David.
David E.
Get in there, son.
About the Silurians, were they meant to be asleep at this point? Are they...
Shit!
Yeah, they should be asleep.
Sort of, right?
Yeah. So these particular Silurians must be the like warrior ones that are like. There's only the 3 of them that we see are the only ones that are on the surface now.
That's it.
I guess.
And below the surface, everyone's asleep except for that weird doctor guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Malachi.
This brings up another
Malachi,
point.
well done, yeah.
Which is that, you know, there are 20 or 30 Doctor Who races perfectly equally represented there. People don't behave this well at the UN. Now, after you. All that business. Oh, goodness sake.
Yeah.
We're allowed 5. We got tickets near the front.
And if ever there was an episode that proved that, according to Doctor Who, every member of their respective alien race always wears the same clothes, this is the one. This, by the way, is the Vindex shot. If you go to the Vindex on whoback1.com, this is the shot. Anyway, David, thank you very much for your mini. Let's go on. Next one comes from Star Wars Sill, Star Wars Sill, Star Wars Sill.
Oh,
Star Wars Sill, Star Wars Sill, Star Wars Sill. Star Wars Sill.
Star Wars Sill begins. Good things. 1. Liz 10, Vincent, Bracewell,
Braithwaite.
Braceface.
and Winnie team up to save the Doctor, and Rory executes Order 66. Someone explain. Sill.
Wait, Order 66, is that a Star Wars thing? Oh, what
Jim
is it?
knows.
Oh, Jim, our audience.
Wait, let me...
Wait.
It's when all the clones turn against and kill all the Jedi.
Oh!
Yeah. So they're all sleeper agents and then just go bam, like the Romans.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh!
They get their kicks with Order 66.
Oh, fantastic.
Good knowledge there, Jim.
Yeah, and Star Wars Sill. Oh, fantastic.
Number 2. Is the handsome time agent who lost his gadget and wrist Captain Jack?
Go, gadget, wrist.
And if not, may I please headcanon that it is?
Yeah, exactly. There's like a slow, bit by bit, he loses everything except for his head. That's how it works. And 3, this episode just underlined my absolute love for River Song.
Yeah, me too.
Star Wars still has alarming things. There were a couple of terms that bothered me. Cyber Thing and Underhenge.
Underhenge.
The first sounds like it came from an adult toy shop. And the other sounds like something you'd whisper in alarm. Leon, your underhenge is showing.
I better cover it with my cyber thing.
Oh dear. Star Wars still had a disappointing thing. I was mildly disappointed that the episode did not address what kind of giant-ass spiders could make such massive and thick webs all over the cavern. But hey, the important thing is that some fruit flies don't mate for life.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So the Doctor basically goes, well, we've got all day at Let's Bone.
Yeah.
And Amy doesn't say, that gives me an idea.
She does have ideas. She goes upstairs to meet the sexy Romans.
Oh, yeah. Take the Legion by storm.
Star Wars still continues. Embarrassing thing. That glorious speech the Doctor gives. Let somebody else try first. Gave me chills the first time I heard it. It felt so damn good. I wanted to cheer, and the music tells you it's this great moment for him. Except on repeat viewing, it's perhaps the most embarrassing speech he's ever given, considering the circumstances.
What? I mean, worse than Rings of a Carton.
And all the bad guys know it, and the Doctor hasn't figured it out yet that he's wearing no clothes, and the class is laughing. Oh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Perfect thing, Star Wars still finishes with. Watching the night sky undo itself, and then the music just stopping for those last few moments. I'm going to give this episode a 4.0 out of 5.
Missing giant spiders.
Because I love angst.
Rory delivered it in spades.
And because of River's hair. Let's be real.
Does everyone else know something we don't?
I did not notice that. Am I the...
Are you not talking about the Cleopatra wig?
Oh, right.
Maybe.
Oh, you've got better wig data than I do.
Jim holds his hand up.
Oh.
Oh, no, he's just...
Oh, he's just stretching.
Because this podcast is keeping him so awake. Ladies and gents, please follow Star Wars Sill online. Star Wars Sill can be found at Star Wars Sill. That's Star Wars Sill. With a Y. Right, next up.
Next up we have Kyle Rath, a.k.a. the sinister super spy.
Hello, Kyle.
Kyle begins. The universe is cracked. The Pandorica will open. Silence will fall. Sounds like a nice 3-series arc. That's not what happens, of course. While Series 5 is still the strongest of Moffat's time as showrunner, in my opinion, it also wrestles with the beginnings of his penchant for big things.
Leading us all by the nose, this episode tells us that bad things are about to happen, and everyone connected to the Doctor in this series so far knows about it, except the Doctor. In its efforts to be clever, it comes off as a bit of an aggressively shaken soda. All fizz, no pop.
Listen, Kyle continues, I enjoy clever, thoughtful, layered character development and less is more / show versus tell storytelling. The idea that the Doctor is the most feared thing in the universe is interesting, but I didn't feel any investment in it. It was dropped in our laps for this episode. It just didn't capture me.
I realise I may be in the minority here, but it's just okay. Despite some nods to some classic film moments, the Thing / Cyberhead and the Mummy / Cyberman chase, and some funny dialogue, as usual by Matt Smith, the Pandorica opens as a glitzy, flashy entrance to a 2-part finale with big odds and an even bigger job to bring the whole series home. Big speeches, big set pieces, big deal.
And he gives this a 3.2 out of 5. Adding a little PS, Rory Williams is still the most interesting character in the series, even when he's a robot assassin made of plastic. Awesome. Thank you very much, Kyle. Ladies and gents, follow Kyle online. He is at Sinister Super Spy. That's super without any vowels. Oh my god, mental high five. Next up, it's Tracy from America. It's been a while since we sang that.
Yeah. Tracy begins, I'm really stretched today, so here's my very fast notes. Please ignore grammatical mistakes. Overall, ambitious visually and plot-wise, but falls a bit flat in payoff, which won't come until next week anyway.
Missed opportunity, the underhand. Here's my rewrite. Doc, the underhand. Amy, what? You made that up? Doc, of course I did. Catch you right?
I'm going to slow down a little bit. That someone else try first speech is right up there with the speech that he gives Prisoner Zero. I would like to give such a speech someday.
Oh.
And excellent reference. Yeah, they're practically the same speech, aren't they?
The Bitwits boy. So where is River in her own timeline? River's only recently met the Doctor and shortly thereafter married him, but she should remember Amy's house, so she was over there a lot as Mel's. Maybe it was too many years ago?
Holy smokes. Okay.
This one's not much of a spoiler. As for Rory, who she should definitely remember... Wait, should she? Anyway.
Love
saves the day. There is no evidence that she actually saw his face. She just put two and two together upon seeing the photo of him looking all Roman.
And she gives this a rating of... I am the Doctor!
I've just realised she's not she does not refer to Amy, it's River. River should remember Rory.
Oh, wait.
I thought that. Have they met before?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, but wait. If Rory has been deleted from history, then River also would not exist. Yeah. She wouldn't exist.
Oh.
Because history, it would also have deleted all of Rory's little sperms.
Yeah.
All of his little swimmers.
Goodness.
Yeah, there would be no River.
Oh, wow.
Right?
It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
Ladies and gents, please follow Tracy from America. She is at
Yekatnyatnov. That's Fountain Tracy backwards.
Thank you very much. And that's it. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone who sent in your minis. Good stuff. Next up, we are going to be looking at The Big Bang, correct?
Indeed.
Iranian cheesecakes. And at some point in the hopefully not too distant future, we will be looking at a Classic Who episode as well. And it will be the Time Warrior? I think so. In the meantime, people can follow us. Drew, you're on Twitter, right?
Drew back when?
Excellent branding. I am at Ponkin and Marie. You're not on Twitter.
Mm-mm.
But please feel free to contact us at whobackwhen@gmail.com and we'll pass it along. And or read it out in the next mailbag episodes. Until the next time, you've been a lovely audience. Thank you so much. Rock on and ciao. Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends.
But I've got no friends.
No problemo. Tell some strangers.
Hooray!
Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/whobackwhen, all in one word.
Are you into Twitter? Awesome. High five us online and we'll high five you right back. You guessed it. We're at Who Back When, all in one word.
Check us out on Instagram for behind-the-scenes photos and other Whovian goodness. Watch our videos or even listen to our podcast on YouTube. That's whobackwhen.com/YouTube.
Vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can submit a review of your own, browse the article archives, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode.
And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. It helps our show get noticed and earns you lots of karma points.
That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other.
Catch your earballs in our next Who review or bonus episode.
Until then,
ciao.
Who Back When?